What's up, everyone? Coach D Speaks here. So Ron DeSantis made this terribly homophobic ad recently, and the Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg was asked his opinion on it. What he says here shows you the difference between someone who is serious and mature about politics and the people who aren't. Take a look at it.
Reaction to that video?
You know, I'm going to choose my words carefully, partly because I'm appearing as secretary, so I can't talk about campaigns. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to leave aside the strangeness of trying to prove your manhood by putting up a video that splices images of you in between oiled up, shirtless bodybuilders, and just get to the bigger issue that is on my mind whenever I see this stuff in the policy space, which is, again, who are you trying to help? Who are you trying to make better off? And what public policy problems do you get up in the morning thinking about how to solve? You know, we're focused as an administration on how to get things done to make people better off. I spent my week traveling around the country to places that are benefiting from infrastructure funding. We were in Appalachia, in an eastern Kentucky community that's been wiped out by floods repeatedly, and we're bringing them highway funding that's going to help them not only improve the road but also improve the dam and protect them from floods in the future. A few weeks ago we were in North Dakota where there's a railroad crossing that was a community headache for decades, and thanks to President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure funds, we finally have the resources to do something about it, and we're going to make that better and have it not be a problem holding back first responders. These are the kinds of problems that most of us got into government, politics, and public service in order to work on. And I just don't understand the mentality of somebody who gets up in the morning thinking that he's going to prove his worth by competing over who can make life hardest for a hard-hit community that is already so vulnerable in America.
So he said so many important things in that video. But most importantly, he points out that the administration that he works for, the Biden administration, is trying to get things done. That's what they're concerned about. They're not concerned about making videos that just make fun of people or don't talk about policy or anything like that. Videos that are just out there to harm other people. So then he talked about how they passed an infrastructure program. So he's been going around visiting places that are benefiting from that infrastructure program. The infrastructure packet that many Republicans didn't even support, but are now singing its praises. And he makes a good point when he says, what are these people doing every day? What makes them wake up in the morning and instead of thinking, I want to help people, they think, I want to harm people? And I said this recently, I think most Republicans wake up each day and think, what kind of outlandish shit can I tweet today about Hunter Biden? Nothing about policy, nothing about infrastructure, nothing about helping the average American people, just what can I do today to get more clicks and get more attention? Think I'm lying? Let's take a look at some of the most recent tweets by some of the most prominent Republicans. Let's start with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Her most recent tweet says, I'm so tired of the strategy of don't bring it to the floor unless we can get it passed. We should bring things like expungement, impeachment, balanced budget amendment, stopping child genital mutilation, and much more to the floor and show who votes against it. Did you hear anything in there about affordable health care? Did you hear anything in there about affordable higher education? Did you happen to hear anything in there about raising the minimum wage or helping the homeless or lowering inflation? No. She thinks the most important thing to Americans today is getting rid of Trump's impeachments. Because during an interview at a recent Trump rally, she said this.
I've introduced a resolution to expunge President Trump, to expunge that impeachment, remove it from history. I'm working with Elise Stefanik, our GOP chairwoman, to expunge the second impeachment, that it should have never happened. But let me tell you, we have a few problem Republicans.
Please tell me, I want to know.
So there's Republicans like Don Bacon from Nebraska, other Republicans, a couple of them in New York, 2 Republicans that voted for the second impeachment, they don't want to take these votes. And I'm like the people watching this home, I'm like you, I can't understand it. Because as members of Congress, voting is part of our job duties.
Right.
And yeah, we take tough votes sometimes, but if they can't go back to their district and explain to their district that they voted to expunge a fake impeachment, 2 fake impeachments that were all political, then why would they serve in Congress? I can't understand why they can't explain that to them.
Right.
Marge, their constituents are going to ask, what did you do for us? And they don't want to say, oh, we got President Trump's impeachments expunged. But let's look at another. Let's go with Lauren Boebert. She recently tweeted, just a reminder that Hunter is the smartest guy that Joe Biden knows. This is what we get when we elect people with no experience and no education. But let's look at Matt Gaetz, because he recently tweeted this. Representative Matt Gaetz demands answers why FBI agents who kneeled for BLM got promotions. Because that's what Americans really freaking care about. But let's look at one of our favorite tap dancers, Byron Donalds, because he recently went to a Trump rally and then tweeted this. This woman in Philadelphia speaks for all of us. She says, my 401k misses you. Retweet if you agree. You know what's crazy? Is that this is all verifiable. Like we can all Google what the S&P 500 and what the Dow was when Trump left and what it is now. So to recap, while Republicans are working on nonsensical stuff like expunging Trump's impeachments and talking about Hunter Biden's laptop and demanding answers as to why FBI agents who kneeled during BLM protests got promotions and making up lies about the stock market, Democrats have been passing infrastructure plans, trying to pass student loan forgiveness, lowering the cost of prescription drugs, and working on bills that actually help Americans. So I must reiterate that the Republican Party is not a serious party. They are not about solutions. They're only about hate, fear, and power. Period.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.